he shoves. Getting 3-1 on the call roughly. I think I'll just fold. Joe Beavers. I'm not sure what to do here. Table 1. Timed out. But I think table 1 I definitely would have called. Or even fold. But I was leaning towards a call just because his bet sizes are super small. Should we just shove? I don't think he's gonna fold anyways. If he has his beat, I think he's just gonna shove. And he rivers a full house. I think we're just constantly getting rivered today. Just gonna take note on that player. We just label him as a fish. So, donk, second pair, will not fold. Basically, yeah, so it looks like we might be just running a little bit bad. But that's not gonna hold us down. We're gonna keep playing. We're gonna keep playing much better. So this guy is also doesn't have a full stack. 3-bet him. He calls, so we're gonna size our bets. So by the time it gets to the turn, we can just shove. Just fold. This guy versus a min raise, queen 10 off. He's playing one table. I think it's okay to see a flop with this. But if a flop is ace high dry flop, then definitely not. Just gonna fold it. 8-7 suited versus a deeper stack. Prefer a 3-bet here than actually just calling. In a spot with 8-7 suited, it's either just gonna be a 3-bet or fold. If we call, it's fairly weak. We're almost always just gonna check fold the flop if the flop doesn't favor us. Table 2, we open 9s under the gun, and this guy decides to lead out. I can see him leading out with an 8, also with the queen, any flush draws. It's definitely gonna call down. I think he checks the river if he has an 8. I don't think he checks a queen though. I think we're fairly beat here. These 3 barreling. Yeah, he's gonna fold. Pocket 9s. I think we can see bet this as well. Actually, no, I'm just gonna check. Jack high flush draw, so no reason to just bluff off our stack, and no reason to just check call just because we don't have anything. So this guy's playing one table. So 36. Yeah. Let's go 140 left. I think he can call with a king, queen, ace, king, even with a flush draw maybe. So table 2, this guy limp called. We do have ace queen. We do have the ace of hearts in a gut shot. I'm definitely gonna barrel this. There's a lot of good turn cards for us that we can bet as well. Table 1, I decided to 3-bet jacks. This guy calls. And he's playing 4 tables. Just gonna check that. King, queen. He can definitely call with ace, queen, king, jack. Just gonna check this down as well. We do have a flush draw, so if he does bet, I'm definitely gonna call. We're not folding. It's a little bit weak if we just check fold, so we can call once. If our hand doesn't improve, then definitely just gonna fold. Ace 4 off, probably not a good idea. It's gonna take notes, so this guy raise king, jack off. Call 3-bet. Check back. Whoops. Check back. Top pair, good kicker. So you may have noticed I've been folding a lot of smaller pocket pairs under the gun. It's really not that profitable if you're constantly raising under the gun with pocket pairs, in my opinion, at these stakes anyways, because you're almost always just gonna miss the flop if someone calls behind and basically fold to a bet. So there's really not much money to be made when you're opening under the gun with like deuces up to pocket 5s. Okay, so table 1, we do flop flush draw plus 2 overs. We're gonna barrel this aggressively. So by the time if we do hit a flush or whatnot, there's plenty of money to be won, and I think we have a pretty big chunk of equity here. And I kind of don't like checking this back, just because he can check back with a lot of like pocket tens with 1 diamonds or whatnot. So just gonna size this so we can just shove the river, or if you can just reshove as well with like say 1 diamond, like, and the board pairs. So do you guys think he just flatted with pocket 9s? Regardless, I think all the money's gonna go in. I mean, if we check and he shoves, we can't just really fold. What do we get called by though? We can get called by pocket 10s. He might hero call pocket jacks as well. Just gonna shove, I guess. So just gonna label that guy a fish as well. He actually hero called me with a 9. It's basically the same as pocket 10s in my opinion. At this stage anyways, it's the same as pocket 10s. So, fish. Just gonna fold table 2 even though we hit the queen. It's a 4-card diamond board. Yeah, so just label this guy fish and just take note. Raise ace 9 off. Button. Call 3-bet. And then call station. Call down top pair on wet board. So did we type in that one correctly? So raise ace 9 off button, call the 3-bet, and he just called down top pair on a super wet board. This guy's playing 2 tables, Leboni. We do have jacks versus the cutoff. Definitely gonna 3-bet. For value, almost always. If he does 4-bet, it'll be a little bit tricky with pocket jacks. We'll need some sort of read, and based on that read, we can decide what to do. And what happened in the other hand as well? We had pocket kings. So we open from, yeah, we open from under the gun. Rez shoves, he has a short stack. And then platinum risk reshoves with ace king. It's pretty standard. Nothing to be seen here, just because I could be in any of these guys' position, and I've already been doing the same thing with ace king as well as pocket queens. If I had that same amount of stack. Okay, this guy's playing 1 table. He is a short stacker. I feel like 3-betting ace 9 would be the best if I want to play it. I can't really just call because, like I said, these guys might just call from behind. But they called regardless, even though it's a 3-bet pot. We don't hit anything, so we're just gonna play this passively. No need to bluff. Like I said, we're not making money by bluffing much. If we are bluffing, I would prefer bluffing with some sort of potential. But right now we just have ace high, so there's really no point in just betting, because almost always if we do face any type of aggression, we're just gonna like give out our money to that villain or to our opponent. Should I just hero call? This guy's raising, he's ISOing this guy pocket deuces. Doesn't have a full stack, so I'm just gonna fold pocket deuce. I think we can hero call here once. And pocket eights. And this guy's 3-betting us. I feel like he's fairly strong if he's 3-betting from the small blind and we are opening under the gun. So I feel like he has a strong enough hand that can stack off here on the flop. And if I shove, I think my hand looks like 9s plus, while his hand looks like ace king, ace queen and whatnot, and as well as pocket aces if he does call. Definitely just gonna call. We do have top set. I think that's an action killer card, because now if he's got pocket kings, he can't really just shove his whole stack. But he's continuously betting, so he does have 76 cents behind. Do you guys think he'll fold 76 cents? Well, I guess we can just ship it. We can get called with ace king anyways. That's not gonna fold. We actually 3-bet pocket tens. So just gonna take note. This guy's fairly, he's like an aggressive fish. Aggro fish. So 3-bet 10-10 small blind versus UTG. And I'll just type will not fold. Bets aggro on 8xx ace will not fold. So we'll try and open up another table. Let's go. Okay, so in this spot, if you can just... Actually, I'm gonna 3-bet this hand. This guy's all in for 3 big blinds. Anyways, table 1. As you can see, small blind has a fairly short stack, so I think calling here is much better than 3-betting. Just because we want to get this guy to come along. Okay. Definitely gonna bet this just because I feel like they can call with a lot of pocket 10s and below. Pocket 8s even. Ace 3. And when the queen hits, I'd rather bet this as well. I feel like we're still gonna get value. I don't think he's going to fold much. He's not gonna fold pocket 10s. He might fold pocket 7s or whatnot, but I'd rather bet it and just check back the river. But if he leads the river, it'll be a pretty tough situation. Okay, so table 4, we did river 2 pair. I think we can value bet this fairly small. He might call with 1 pair. I can see him calling with at least like king 10 maybe. No. And see what happened with this guy. So this guy decides to check call with ace high. That's completely fine, pretty standard. Table 2, I decided to ISO from the small blind. I usually would fold this hand, but I just want to play with him because he's a short stacker. And our hand pretty much plays itself if we do flop a nice flop. However, big blind decided to call, so we can't just bet it. I'd rather take this to showdown without spending too much money. Table 3, we spike the king. How often do we get called by a pair? So I'll just bet it's small. I mean, it's not small relative to the pot, but okay, gonna 3-bet ace king suited versus under the gun. Six-two suited, it does have potential. We are getting the correct odds. 2 into 11. I think I'm just gonna call this. Okay. Now table 4, we do have pocket kings versus a short stacker and someone that's a little bit more deep. Just gonna play it like it's a 3-bet pot actually. The short stack might actually spew. So when I say spew, like I mean like just go crazy on whatever hand that they have or whatever hand that they think might be good enough, because they might think I'm just raising just as a bluff. So that's what I mean by when I say he might go crazy or he might spew. The reason I didn't 3-bet, I'll just go back to this hand. I think the hand is still happening, so I can't access it. So the reason why I didn't 3-bet this hand versus this guy is I feel like ace jack, I'm just bluffing with it when I 3-bet it. And this guy, it says he doesn't really fold much, so raise ace 6 suited, call 3-bet, so he's almost always gonna call with a lot of reasonable hands, and ace jack might be ahead of them, but you know, in regards to playing it post flop, we can't really do much. We have to hit like a miracle flop. Anyways, this guy table 4, he decided to 3-bet us. We do have ace queen with 1 spade. The ace of spades actually we can definitely float. Definitely folding now. Table 3, this guy also decided to 3-bet us. We are fairly deep, so I'd rather play this in position, pocket jacks. Don't want to go crazy with it. It would be something different if it was at least like ace king, pocket queens plus, but jacks, it's okay. It's okay to play in position. Don't really want to go crazy when we have a pretty deep stack. So table 2, we do open with king queen. We do have top pair, and sometimes I feel like checking back top pair, because on a dry board like this, he's almost always gonna fold if he doesn't hit it. I don't think he's gonna float out of position with like a7 or something. So I think we're better off. I will be able to get more money on later streets with by checking back top pair. I decided to 3-bet ace jack, table 3. We do have top pair and pocket fives. I'm gonna check this back as well, and villain decides to call. So at this point we're either ahead or just way behind. Now table 2, villain decides to double barrel, like lead turn and then lead river. We do have top pair, and I think we can just call. Guy's playing fairly strong. I feel like he has at least ace queen here or something. He's betting fairly aggressive, but I don't think it's too weak to just fold top pair in that spot anyways. I think with ace king he'll definitely go all in with it. But ace queen, I can see him calling down with ace queen in that spot. Ace queen definitely beats us. However, he had one of those hands that we beat, which is ace 10, so that's pretty awesome. And like I said, on that flop, I feel like we're either super ahead or we're just super behind. Table 2, we open 7-8 suited mid position, and this guy decides to donk on a 10 high board. So we do flop and open end that, and we turn a flush draw. So in the flush draw, I mean the turn card, it's a pretty nice card for us. I think it hits us, so definitely gonna bet this fairly aggressively. If he's leading with like a 9 or a 10, he's obviously just gonna fold the turn, and if he doesn't fold the turn, then he's gonna fold the river if his hand doesn't improve. So that's why betting the turn is much better than actually checking. And plus, once we hit our hand, and if he feels like hero calling, you know, we're gonna get paid more. This guy decides to defend. He's playing one table. I think on a flop like this versus a short stack, we can bet it fairly small. If he doesn't hit this flop, he's obviously just going to check fold, and he's just going to follow up if he does hit it. So smaller the bet, I would say the better, because obviously he's not going to fold any jack or any king on the flop with a stack like that. Do I feel like hero calling? Nah, not today anyways. I think he's gonna value bet a jack there a lot anyways. Even a king. Six, 5 suited. I think I'll just call here. Complete from the small blind like a fish. On table 4, that 10, it completes like a club flush if you have 2 clubs. But if he's smart enough, if I do bet this, he wouldn't think that I wouldn't have clubs, because I definitely would bet if I had a flush draw. But we'll definitely take a stab. Ace high dry flop, table 3. I'm gonna bet it small. If he doesn't have that ace, obviously he's going to fold. If he doesn't have an 8, he's also going to fold. So just gonna bet small. Hopefully he folds. Like any hand that beats us, even like king 10 would fold. Table 4, we do have a straight, but it's the bottom end straight. But I think we can value bet this. I think if he does have like the ace of diamonds, he'll call. So what do you guys think of the hands that I've played so far? Let me know in the comment section below if you would have done something different, or if you think I made a bad decision or whatnot. Just type them all down in the comment section below. Let's go. Now this guy, he checks twice, blind versus blind. We can definitely bluff with the jack. I think he might fold like a queen X type of hand. So table 1, we do have top pair, medium position, as well as cutoff called. I'm gonna barrel this on a wet board. I can see these two actually calling with like ace queen, at least if I'm under the gun, if they are positionally aware. Now when the queen of spades comes, I think checking here is much better than actually betting. Can we value bet the ace? I think bet folding would be the better option here actually. Might get value from like weaker aces. If he does shove, we're obviously just gonna fold. Yeah, so if we check the river and he bets, then we are in a pretty shitty spot. But if we bet, we can size it so that we're getting value from like weaker aces, and we don't have to call depending on his own sizing. And I think check calling there is much weaker on the river anyways. Okay, so I'm probably gonna end the video pretty soon. So this video, I'm also gonna cut this into 2 parts. So I think it will be video number 9 and then video number 10, or should I say part 9 and part 10. Okay, it's gonna sit out. And we did run pretty bad at the start of the session, and hopefully we actually recovered. I don't know the results yet. I only checked the results after the session, so we'll definitely double check, see how we go. Okay, so this is how we started off with. Now just gonna refresh it, and we're still basically breaking even. So we ran pretty bad at the start, we kept getting rivered, but we recovered and we're back to where we started. That's completely fine though, as long as we're not losing. Our main goal is to reach $100. So stay tuned, I'm gonna make more videos after this. And like I said, if you do have any comments, whether it's good or bad, just write them down in the comment section below. Let me know if you guys would have played any hands differently, and hopefully you watch my next video. Thanks for watching anyways.